Inland Sports.
And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show as we dive into week 3 of the high school football season. These guys are red hot. They are undefeated. They're scoring a lot of points. It's the Beaumont Cougars. We got head coach Jeff Steinberg. We got quarterback Chris Cooper. And coach, your ball boy looks a lot like you back there, I think.
Yeah. Jason, my son's now in the mix too. He gets to be on the sidelines this year.
A whole family affair out there in Beaumont. You guys are 3-0 right now. You got a big game coming up on the road at Dixie in Utah. Before we talk about that matchup, Coach, going 3-0 and beating some good teams along the way to get to 3-0, what has impressed you so far about this year's Beaumont team?
It really, the level of maturity to go one game at a time. They're not getting ahead of themselves. They kind of keep whatever's up next in front of us, and not dwell on maybe past mistakes or look too far into the future. And it's really just kind of like, okay, what's coming up next, and what do we need to do this week to improve as a team.
And the guy on screen right, but your left, your quarterback, Chris Cooper, how important has his role been in this 3-0 start this season?
Real huge, and Chris has played really good football, throwing well, making his reads. His completion percentage has been pretty high, taking off when he needs to, which is kind of like a new dimension this year. But I really think the best stuff are the things that don't show up in the stat sheet. It's the film study during the week. It's being a great leader, being great on the sidelines with his teammates, and understanding how we're just trying to incorporate more guys into the game plan.
Coach, before I get to Chris, I did want to ask you about that because you've coached some all-time great quarterbacks, and they can be fast, they can have a big arm, decision making, all those things, but what Chris has, what Blake Barnett has, Kirsten Sween, like all these guys just along your journey, your coaching path, what do these guys all have in common, you think, that makes them great, that kind of separates them from other guys?
Yeah, so I think the thing that sets guys like that apart are number one is all of those guys are just super competitive. Like probably hate to lose more than they like to win. I know it's a little cliche, but that's one thing that sticks out with those guys. And then just always wanting to get better and finding time to work on their game. And whether it's watching film, there's always they always feel like it's like an unfinished product, that they're always trying to strive towards something. And I think those two things are forget about born with some great skill and stuff, which obviously helps. But I think those are the two things that the best guys that I've had the opportunity to coach, and Chris is on that list. That's kind of where it starts.
And then Chris, go back maybe 2 years ago as a sophomore to where you are right now. How do you feel like you've developed, how you've changed, how you've improved?
Mentally, I feel like it's kind of just maturity. Definitely being an older guy, kind of thinking my guys like Gabe Nunez and stuff like that, kind of helped me climb. And then, kind of realizing that football at the end of the day is just a game. Don't overthink it, and then the guys on the sideline, the guys in the locker room with you, ultimately going to help you get to the end goal. So kind of just the mental part is huge. Then physical, just being relentless in the off season, any chance I get, is kind of what has helped me to be who I am today.
Chris, in terms of mindset, does it help going into a game, especially a big game, and just reminding yourself, this is fun, man. We play football to have fun. Winning is fun. Does it kind of help your mindset to kind of relax and make sure you're enjoying the process?
Yeah, 110%, because I feel like in the past, when the games that I look back and dang, I honestly feel like I could do 500 if I wasn't so tense, but, I kind of just I kind of went to the game trying to put too much pressure on myself, but the games I laugh and have fun is just kind of the ones I remember the most. And I feel like I've lost a game, but I had so much fun. And it was I literally went home immediately, and it was just okay, I hate losing, but it was I played my best football because I was under control and I wasn't tense, and I didn't feel like I have a huge monkey on my back trying to, tell me to do this and this and this. And it was kind of just being relaxed and let loose and just play football.
Now, Chris, I think the biggest win in your high school career is still in front of you, a game that you have yet to play yet. But looking at the games that you've played so far at Beaumont, Is there a game that sticks out to you as like your biggest win? Like maybe you had your best game, or it was the biggest win for the team at the time. Is there a game that sticks out to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think my sophomore year, when we played San Jacinto, we lost to them in the regular season, and honestly, we shouldn't have. Mental mistakes down the stretch. We were up, and then ended up losing to a close one. So, kind of just that get back throughout the rest of the season, and then playing my best ball, taking off when I had to. And then the preparation for that game was don't go into it thinking like we have to win. Of course, we have to win, but at the end of the day, it's football. Like if I think like that, and I feel like if I lose, like the world's over, then I feel like I'm going to crumble, and that's kind of like the biggest win for me so far. But like you said, I feel like my biggest win is definitely ahead of me.
And Chris, before I go back to coach, I wanted to ask you about your receivers. You mentioned Gabe Nunez. Like he had a million receptions, but I feel like this year you might have a good complement of a bunch of good receivers. How would you kind of describe the receiving corps? Because you probably have a bunch of guys you feel confident throwing the football to.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that's on the field with me at this point, I kind of feel like once the ball is ready, and like I feel like hungry is kind of like the biggest word, but it's not being selfish. Everybody wants to go get a piece of the pie. And I feel like when, my guy DJ or Sean, they're going up getting touchdown, and now defense, okay, like I have to worry about DJ, and now it's going to open up Braden to Cleve. So I kind of feel like just having like that versatility is kind of going to make the game so much more fun, and everybody is going to get some love.
And I got to mention Hector too, because otherwise there'll be a fight when he gets home.
Sorry.
So Hector too.
Yeah, Hector's been a big piece, and then
and the running backs.
Yeah.
It's just nice to have like all those different guys this year where pass, run, different personnel groupings, and different guys with different skill sets.
Yeah.
Chris, actually, one more follow-up question for Chris, because this is very important. Have you had El Nasty, the big burrito? Like I see the line guys get those.
So I haven't had an El Nasty. I feel like there's some games where I've laid the hat on a pool. So, I kind of feel like my name could be in the mix sometimes, but no, not yet. But I heard it's a nasty burrito that I want to enjoy.
Remember, the best game's in front of them, so maybe the El Nasty's coming up. It just may be.
I'm working.
I think so. I think we're on to something. So, Coach, logistically, going to Utah and playing Dixie, when do you guys leave? Is it a ton of preparation? Make sure Chris has the right cleats. Make sure everyone's got their gloves and enough tape and Gatorade and water, whatever else you need. I mean, is it a big undertaking to go that far out of state?
Yes and no. Like, we're pretty organized as a staff. Making sure that there's a checklist of things to pack, because we're not coming back to grab a jersey. The number 2 shouldn't be left. But just that, and just also just making sure that we've got, like not a bunch of downtime. Some things planned when we're there, and we've got some fun stuff that we're going to be doing that we'll show while we're away. There's some pretty cool things with a stop at UNLV. We're going to spend some time at Utah Tech, but at the end of the day, we are going in there to play an interstate football game against a rival state that plays pretty good football, we think. Dixie High School's played some top 25 teams in their first 4 games, and so we're excited about the opportunity to travel, and this kind of opening the door for future teams to be able to go on the road at Beaumont High School.
And is this the first one for Beaumont to go outside of California?
This is the first time the football program's gone out of state.
Yep.
And I was going to ask you about Dixie. I haven't looked them up or anything, but it sounds like they're actually a pretty good team. Like this is going to be a tough opponent.
Good program. They're, I think, 1-3 right now. They, like I said, the losses they've had have been to top teams from the state. They look like they're a pretty solid team, well coached. Mm-hmm. It's their homecoming when we go, so those are all great things to get ready for.
All right, finally, Coach, I've been hearing from a lot of people, that maybe quarterback's not the most important position, not the offensive line, not a strong secondary. It's the ball boy that really carries a team. That's the difference. Not even the head coach. Coach can't make all the plays. It's the ball boy. Is that true?
He is an important part of the team, and he found out last Friday when, he's treated just like any of the other players. He got yelled at by a coach. He took it pretty well, and I guess was kind of nice. The next day, he had some lifesavers from the coach. So he's not immune to that stuff either.
Everybody's fair game, right?
What's that?
Everybody's fair game. If you're a part of the team, you're fair game. Well, guys, listen, man. Safe travels out there to Utah. I really appreciate the time. Chris, congrats on all the success so far. And, Coach, thank you for always making time for me on the Inland Sports Show. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully the next time I see you or talk to you, you'll be at least 4-0 after this game against Dixie.
We hope so. Yeah. Thanks a lot for all you do.
Hey, it's my pleasure, Coach. Love covering you guys. Love covering the IE. Really appreciate it. That is Chris Cooper, the quarterback, Jason the ball boy, and head coach Jeff Steinberg, of course, of the Beaumont Cougars here on the Inland Sports Show. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks.
Inland Sports.